This is another story from the book My Whispering Teachers, and this story is called The Invention of the Hiccup. A true story, perhaps. Sir James Hicklington was a man of immense wealth and influence for a time, possessed of large estates, the product of generations of canny and industrious Hicklingtons. He boasted, as a jewel in his crown, the 200-acre Darlington estate, won in a sword fight by his grandfather, Sir Percival Hicklington. And from his grand manor, on a rare and cloudless morning, one could peer east to regard the Yorkshire Dales, west to the North York moors, and south to spy the distant Minster, its sharp spires pricking the close English sky. It was a favourite staging post for the English gentry as they paraded north to shoot Scottish deer. On their backward trek they passed Sir James again, with weary and satisfied hearts, to take the waters at Scarborough before lurching home to London, Surrey, and other southern climes to abuse their compliant servants and bemoan the vicissitudes of life. So on their way to and fro they happily availed themselves of Sir James' abundant and frequent lavish parties, always supplemented by winsome and eager young women for any travelling man without his wife or mistress. Sir James was possessed of other estates too. He kept a small suite in Kensington for his city visits, where he kept a retinue of 5 permanent staff. There was the farm and substantial house near Poole, where he might entertain females enamoured with a trip to the seaside, and, of all things, a pig farm in Wiltshire, near Stonehenge. Though that was the last thing any respected gentry would boast of, Sir James kept it, one suspects, for that very reason, to thumb his nose at convention. He was by nature and enjoyment a man who gambled, not on horses or the gaming tables, but with life. He loved to goad life and limits, just to see how far he could go and what may come of it. Soon after Von Krapp invented the flushing toilet, Sir James took it into his head to patent a toilet roll holder. His imagination conjured up the picture of someone inventing toilet paper sighted in a continuous roll, and he was dashed he was going to miss out on such an opportunity. He invested heavily in property, machinery, and manpower in a Birmingham factory to develop and produce 3,000 toilet roll holders. Alas, he was some 80 years before his time, and said toilet roll holders became the landfall of another generation of home builders. His gambles were also of the romantic kind, and he found himself with 4 marriages, 3 divorces, and a larger number of liaisons. He was attracted to the extremes of life, and his loves alternated between the selfish spendthrifts who would strip him of large doses of his inheritance, and then wealthy heiresses who would bolster his flagging resources. His gambling took him, too, to the political sphere. As a significant landowner, he was expected to support William Gladstone's Tory party, but not Sir James. Though he had no socialistic leanings, except towards the attractive beauties he bedded, he rather enjoyed prodding his friends by standing for Benjamin Disraeli's Whig party. That Disraeli was possessed of a fine pair of lungs and an acerbic wit had more to endear him to Sir James than any political bias. In fact, with such fervour did Sir James pursue that ambition for a short, frenetic time. He won the Whigs a seat in the Tory stronghold of Dorset, in which his Poole estate resided. This did nothing but infuriate his wealthy friends, though they continued to enjoy his sumptuous entertainments in New York, in Yorkshire, while speaking less than well behind his back. So in the manner of those who challenge convention, he wore the world as a loose garment. He chose a precarious road less favoured, and his fortunes fluctuated madly, wildly affluent one year, deeply in debt the next. Thence he became the subject of malicious talk of the town as the blemish in the face of society, especially by those who lost their investments to his bizarre schemes, and those who lost their womenfolk to his manly advances. In fact, he was so well remembered that the blemishes on the skin of delicate ladies, those to be camouflaged with lashings of powder and rouge, came to be known as Hicklingtons, and later shortened to Hicks. Sir James' fluctuating fortunes and ventures became a major gossip of the time, and when he lost it all and more, there'd be ill-disguised exclamations of Hicklington's down. This oft-repeated phrase became shortened to Hick's down. Alternatively, when all seemed lost and he somehow rose from the ashes with a chancy investment or a well-endowed widow, there'd be astounded chortles of Hicks up, accompanied by an unrestrained strangular cry. This particular explanation, when not related to Sir James' sudden phoenix-like resurgence, became then a Hicks up, or, as the Cockneys coined it, a hiccup. A true story.